So I'm in my creative canvas world. This is where I just do a lot of planning out builds and things like that. So I have this designed for my nether portal where I want to use a hearth, like a fireplace hearth, to store the nether portal inside Calcifer's mouth. So I was playing around with like different designs here, and ultimately I think I'm going to go with something smaller like this. And the idea is that the portal will be inside Calcifer's mouth, and he lives inside a hearth. In the movie, this is from Hal's Moving Castle. The hearth is sort of like a cylinder, has like a cylinder base, and it opens and closes, or at least it looks like it opens and closes. So I wanted to kind of mimic that. Now, obviously, rounder shapes are going to be more difficult in Minecraft, so this is what I have so far. And we just have to kind of figure out how we're going to get this to kind of round out in the back here. I'm thinking of putting this inside of like a mountain. So if we just carve out a piece of the mountain and then just like stick the frame in, then we can kind of just build and mine out the inside. Yeah, but I'll just extend this out a bit and see what it kind of looks like. Yeah, so we could probably even use like slabs to kind of help round it out. Slabs and walls, maybe. I think this would be too light. Maybe not, actually. This could just help texture it and then also like smoothen it out a bit. I wonder if we have a... I think this is as brown as we can get with walls. That's a bit too light. So yeah, that's sort of the idea here. So I like this scale of Calcifer. Like I don't need it to be a huge one, and I'm just thinking about like walking in and out. And inside, I didn't want the nether portal to show too much, so just trying to figure out a way to fill in the inside. We could probably use some resin too, mix that in there. That way it kind of just blends in. And then probably going to need to add some panes. This part of like the glass work I think is super cool. The way people do the glass effect, sort of like how I did it with the smokestack here, using that to kind of simulate transparency, and then it also just helps smoothen out the glass blocks here, since there aren't any stairs or slabs. So I think this is good for now, just as a mock-up. Not sure if this is going to be like the final build of it, but I think it's good enough to just show the scale and what the idea is behind it. Let's move this into the hearth, see how it looks. So yeah, this is the idea. So here we're using the brown terracotta into a deep slate, but I wanted to see how it looks like if we do the brown terracotta to blackstone. So switch out the soul sand. There's no way for me to flip this. May have to omit that. Alright, so what do we think? There's this. And there's this one. I think this gradient is a lot better. I think the way it's just going from the brown to the deep slate is nicer. But I think this one like makes more sense in terms of what that color would look like. Let's texture the outside of the hearth, just like the hearth itself. See what that kind of amounts to. I think that looks good. Now we'll add the same texturing. I think this time, instead of it being somewhat randomized, I'm going to try and do a bit more of a gradient on this side here and compare the results. That looks pretty good. Yeah, it's almost like this is like the base hearth, right? Now that I'm looking at it more. We've got that sort of charred, burned area where Calcifer's been sitting for a while, and then like this ring of this darker but lighter. So it's darker than the outside, but lighter than the inside portion. Almost like a glow effect. Then we'll just add a way to get up here. Maybe we could try and add like a log. Kind of want it to look like a split log. So like one side of it would have the bark, and the other side would be sort of just the inside part, the grain. I think we'll leave it for now. And I'll think of a way to kind of make that better, or maybe replace it with something else. Okay, cool. So we'll find a place to put this in our survival world, and then start gathering materials. And we'll see how it looks at the end. Alright, so this is the final design. It's a bit different than what I made in the creative world. I took a look at pictures from the movie, and I saw that he still sits on charred wood. And parts of the wood are still hot and on fire. So I decided to use resin and magma blocks to help simulate that burning wood effect. And then I just kind of spread it around just to kind of show that it's like ashes that are left behind. Another thing I changed was the eyes. The eyes look too like animated, or I guess too cartoony. So I decided to try and make them more round, and I added a banner with just a simple design of a black circle. And I actually think that turned out really good. There's a picture specifically where Calcifer has like this surprised look with his mouth open and his eyes wide. So I think that this perfectly like represents that. I also added some lights in the back here to help with like a glowing effect. And then I also added orange candles to help with that lighting effect as well. And then over on my Instagram account, I finished up some more trees, and that's where the footage is posted there. But I just wanted to show it off here. This is what it kind of looks like now. Yeah, and then the plan is to extend this basically all across here and down to the edge, and then maybe a little bit more on this side. I don't want to burn myself out with building trees, so I'm just going to make progress little by little. Then this place will slowly start to come together. For the next chapter, I do want to build a little farmhouse or type of barn here to cover this up, and then maybe extend this wheat field here, do some terraforming. Then I want to add some silos here. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to a skin artist that I found named Jesse. He helped me bring my idea to life with this skin design here, and I'm super happy with it. So I'll link his Twitter account in the description below. So in case any of you guys are interested in having a custom skin made and you like his style, definitely feel free to reach out to him because he does amazing work. But yeah, see you soon.